Yeah, we are live now. We are live, we are live, we are live. Who is excited? I see James Dari. James, how are you? Welcome to class. I see Providence Maisie, Grace Ofurum. Am I correct with the pronunciation? Welcome to class. We're live. We're live. Are you ready? Tell me where you're joining me from today. Where are you joining from? Tell me your name in the comments. Where are you joining us from? Where are you joining us from? Super excited. I see peace. Yes, tell me your name. Where are you joining us from? I'm late. This is not my regular time. I'm always here on time. No, in time. In time. Is it on time or in time? One of those. All right. Welcome to class. I'm excited. Purpose activation webinar. Mm-hmm. Balogu James from Ibadan. Ibadan, welcome to the building. Who else is in the building? Let me see you. Let me see you. Tell me your name. Where are you joining from tonight? Mm, Peace is coming from Cross River. Peace is very close to me here. Peace, you're welcome. Peace is joining from Cross River. Thomas is joining from where? From Cameroon. Welcome. Rotma from Kebbi State. Um, Philippine from Ghana. All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's tell others to join us. Faith, are you here? Are you here? Tell others to join us in the room so we can take this to the next level. I just rounded up a class with members of my Growth Garden Inner Circle membership, and I was trying to put one or two together as a mommy, as a mommy, and then network struck, internet disappeared. I said, okay, oh, let's relax a bit. Let's relax. So we're trying to put it together from the back end. I hope you're ready. Jima is in the building. Jima, welcome. How are you? Okay, so we're going to take this up to the next level. Next level is calling our name right now. So, who else is in the building? Let me see you. You're journey from Owerri. Beautiful, beautiful. How's Owerri doing today? Welcome to class. Welcome, welcome. Who else is joining from Port Harcourt? Who is in Port Harcourt? Do we have Riverians? How do you call yourself? We have Crossivarians. Is it Riverians? Where are the rivers? Evelyn is joining from Cameroon. Evelyn, you're welcome. Thank you for joining. You guys just rounded up in the inner circle and you're here again. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for the gift of your presence. It means a lot. Welcome, everyone. Who else is in the building? Edie from South Africa. They are here. Look at my people. Edie, how are you? Welcome to class. Okay, who else is in the building? So tell me your expectation this evening. In a sentence, I'd love you to tell me your expectation. Your expectation in a single sentence or in a word. What do you anticipate so dearly in this class today? Okay, tell me in a word, in a sentence, what are you looking forward to? Okay, what level of transformation are you looking forward to from this very engagement? All right, how do you want to be blessed? We want to be blessed differently. This is a purpose thing, and our purpose has a way of really opening us up to dimensions that we never thought possible, opening us up to possibilities, to light, to brilliance, right? So tell me how you intend to be blessed from this very program today. We have today and just tomorrow. For those of you that were with us in January when we're doing a lot around productivity, remember we did that for almost it was for 10 days. It was for 10 days. It was all back to back to back to back to back. That was it. That was it for us. Back to back. Yes. Somebody says clarity of purpose. Interesting. Let's say it the way they will say it in the other side. Clarity. Clarity of purpose. Right? Knowledge and clarity. Interesting. I want to find my purpose in God. Interesting. Who else? Who else? Mm, tell me, what are you looking forward to in our session today? Yes, this class as we put together, God had you in mind from the very beginning. We're going to be praying, we're going to be speaking in tongues, we're going to be teaching, we're going to be doing everything we know how to do best, right, through this segment. And I want you to know that specifically, Specifically, Niger State in the building. Yeah. All right. Specifically, God had you in mind before putting this program together, before putting all the resources that needed to be put together for you to be here. God had you in mind. And that is why we're going to be doing this deliberately. Somebody should write deliberately in the comments. Intentionally, somebody should write intentionally. All right. And spiritually, somebody should write spiritually. We're going to be putting all that we can together to ensure that we're fully able to zone in. Okay, somebody says to know my real purpose in life. Interesting. Interesting. To know my real purpose in life. That is your reason for coming, Philippine or Philippine. All right. To know my real purpose in life. Someone says, I want to discover myself the more. Interesting. What else are you looking forward to? All right. You know, the Bible says that the expectations of the righteous cannot be cut short. In every interaction that you go into, in every session you go into deliberately, you must be intentional. Okay? You must be intentional. You must be more than ready to truly zone in. That's it. More than ready to truly zone in. The moment you are able to zone in, okay, the moment you are able to zone in and do the work, and then you also set your expectations, set your mindset, all right, because that expectation is going to open you up to be able to receive all that you truly need. Somebody says, I want to encounter God guidance and seek clarity of purpose. Okay, another person says, okay, thank you. You repeated what I said. That's great, deliberately, spiritually, intentionally. Someone says, I want to align with God's purpose for my life through the knowledge I will acquire from here. Interest. So, with that being said, Father, we pray and we decree this season that as many that are here, their eyes will be open, they will be late. Can you hear me? Okay, so it rained heavily today. Mm, it just stopped raining, so it's part of the reason we are having the back and forth. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? So I have two internets and I'm trying to switch in between. So sorry about that. Um, so let's go on. I was praying. I said, Lord, I pray for everyone present here that their eyes will be open to be able to receive, their mind will be receptive enough to perceive the wisdom of God over their lives in this season so that they are fully level and all that God has in store for them. Yes, that is my prayer for you. Let's get started in the class. If you can hear me, let me know so that I can share my slide. Okay, if they can hear me, thank you, Evelyn. I think you should join me in that feedback, Evelyn. Thank you for that. Um, thank you. Okay, who else can hear me and see me? You can hear me and see me, let me know. Apart from Evelyn. Emmanuel, can you hear me and see me? Okay, you can hear me, Claire. Okay, interesting. So I was about to share from here. That slide is very important. So somebody should type in the room our subject of today. What are we discussing? What are we discussing today? Looking forward to. This is going to be a 2 days event. And someone will ask Coach Faith, why did you set up this event? What is necessary as you are, as a leader? Why did you set us up? It is important to share with members of my inner circle. That's one of the major reasons I know it is time for me to really put out a project, a program, a thought, an idea, bring redemption to the hearts of many. Is the many questions that people ask me. Yeah, it's the so many questions that people come up with all the time. And once those questions are there, I just know, all right, that it is time for us to look into something really remarkable. So this program was actually put together for your sake, okay? It was put together for your sake. I know that God has a mandate that was to finish that in the earth today, all right? Today. So let's be intentional about this so that we can truly get the best out of the session. Okay, I'm going to share my slides. Okay, so let me share my slides. The sound slides. Can you see my slides? Is it clear? Hello, can you see my slide? No sound. All right. Oh, Jimo says I can see your slide. Can you hear me as well? Can you hear me? So we can take it up. Okay, great, Faith. Thank you so much. So it is about purpose activation. Somebody should type activation, activation in the building, activation. So we're going to manage blessing to see how far we can go. We know it's going to be stabilized with time. It just stopped raining. Okay, my Wi-Fi is waving. Okay, okay. So tell me in the comment, activate, activate. Okay, good. I know you can hear me now with the word activation. So this is going to be a 2 days journey. Today we're going to discover and discern. Tomorrow we're going to step into activation where I will open you up to the framework for project implementation, right? Because it's important you step into your purpose project even after understanding and discovering what it is. Because I've seen that a lot of you, what I'm going to be teaching you today is not something overly novel, right? It's not something overly out of your head that you've not heard of before, right? Many a times the reason we lost touch around the subject of purpose is usually because we don't stay put on the path of implementation. Somebody should type implementation in the room. We don't stay put on the path of execution. We don't stay put on the path of doing the work really, right? Staying put to really connect to what it is that God wants us to do. Because clarity is something that is unlocked on the journey of growth. It gets clearer with consistency. It gets clearer with consistency. Do you see that? So if you have received a certain level of clarity today. Let's say about 10%. Remember that story in the Bible of someone that God told to do a part. I think it was a prophet. I can't remember if it was Ezekiel or Jeremiah, but it was a particular prophet that God was trying to make him see a particular thing. If you know the story, just highlight the name of the prophet. And then, um, okay, it wasn't the prophet. I think it was the man that was blind that Jesus actually prayed for, and then he said he was seeing men as trees. With consistency, after a while, he started to see clearer. You see, so many a times when you look at your life, you realize that at some point in your life, you had a clue, right? You had a glimpse into the life of purpose, and maybe somehow, somewhere, you actually started living it. But after a while, you lost touch. You felt it was not really a thing for you. It was not really the thing for you, right? The thing, all right, definite article. It was not really the thing for you. And then you decided to retreat, you decided to take some steps backward, and it was almost as though you lost it. Of course, whatever you don't focus on, it sacrifice. That's it. Focus is a fundamental law of the universe. We have several laws of the universe. We have the law of reciprocity. We have the law of gravity. We have the law of focus, right? We have the law of repulsion. We have the law of attraction and several other laws. These are fundamental laws that if we talk about the law of gravity, it simply means that when you throw something up, it will surely come down. All right? That's the reality of life. You throw something up, it comes down. All right? It's the law of gravity. Anywhere in the universe, you throw something up, it comes down. The same thing is applicable when it comes to the law of clarity. Clarity says deploy yourself on the path of intentionality, deploy yourself on the path of growth, and with consistency and integration, it gets clearer, it gets better, you understand more. Someone who started going to school today, and the person who has been in school will not have the same level of understanding based on what the subject matter is. That's it. Based on what the subject matter is, there has to be a journey. You have to go on a journey. So purpose is actually a journey. Somebody should type journey. Purpose discovery, purpose discernment is actually a journey. So identify your God-given purpose beyond the noise in the world today, beyond comparison, beyond the snap pressure. The essence of this class is to stabilize it, all right? To place you in a position where you can truly begin to consecrate yourself to be able to stay put on the path of purpose. Because a lot of us know what it is, but we have not been able to consecrate ourselves. We've not been able to put ourselves together. We constantly doubt our brilliance, our capacity, and all that God has placed in us. I hope we're good to go. If we're good, say we are good to go. So what we're going to cover today, all right? First of all, we're going to look at the purpose crisis, why so many people feel lost despite the level of success that they've been able to achieve. We're going to be looking at the three voices, all right, that goes on in our lives all the time. We're going to look at the discovery framework, which is more like a practical process for uncovering your purpose. And we're going to look at the discernment test, how to know if it is truly your calling. Okay, these are the steps we're going to be looking at in this very conversation. So why does purpose even matter? Why does it matter? Why are you here? Why are you here? Let me ask us. Jim, why are you in this class? Evelyn, why are you here? Philippine, why are you here? Jim, who else is in the room? James Darry. Okay, Shadrach, why are you in this class? Why is this class even important to you? All right, why did you decide to show up for purpose activation? Is it because you don't have another work to do this night? Or you don't have something else to connect to? You have more than enough. Your plate is full, right? But there is a reason you are here. Do you see that? So why does purpose even matter? Purpose is not about what you do. That's one thing you have to first of all understand. It is why you were made. It begins from why you were made to what you can do with why you were made, right? Purpose is about why you were made, all right? How many of you know this quote? When the purpose of a thing is not known, I like to complete it for me. Complete that statement for me. When the purpose of a thing is not known, what happened? When the purpose of a thing is not known, what happened? It was Nathan of Minesborough that actually popularized the quote. When the purpose of a thing is not known, what happens to the person? Abuse becomes inevitable. it becomes unavoidable. I think I'm quite faster. So many of you are trying to catch up. Please, just take your, if you're listening to me, just take your, just fast forward to the front so that you can flow with me. Okay, so we can flow at the same pace. Okay, abuse is what? Inevitable. Abuse is inevitable. When the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. Do you see that? Abuse is inevitable. So purpose is not about what you do. It's about why you are here. Why do you have that cup in your kitchen? All right. Why is Coach Ray teaching today? All right. Why do you have the things that you have in your life, the people that you have in your life today? Why do you do that kind of business? That is purpose. There has to be a reason behind it. So when you are living in your purpose, work feels less meaningful. Feels meaningful, I mean, not just productive. So you become on a daily basis, you wake up because there is a reason you are alive. You begin to experience fulfillment and not just achievement. You begin to experience fulfillment and not just achievement. I like to type that in the room. You begin to experience fulfillment. You impact lives, not just accomplish tasks. You see, many a times when you ask people what is their vision, they would often say, oh, my vision is to make money, my vision is to do this, my vision is to do that. And then we have to start lecturing them to say, this vision and purpose of a thing is not majorly about you. You remember when God gave the dominion mandate in the book of Genesis, one of the major mandates he gave to man was that we should go ahead and dominate. We should replenish. We should make the world a better place, right? So when we talk about dominion, for example, it's really about service. It's really about service, serving the next person, serving institutions, serving societies, all right? It may look glamorous in certain parastatals because of systems and structures that they've been able to put in place. But service is service. It is servanthood. All right? It is leadership. Leadership is servanthood. So a lot of people are not able to step into the ordination on a deeper level because they don't know how to serve. So the moment you understand that purpose, it's about service, it's about dominion, it's about stepping up higher. Like a lot of people are living as victim in our world today. Come on now. A lot of people are living as victim. Okay, whenever I talk about the different realms in consciousness, I always talk about the victim realm, we talk about the manifestor realm, then we talk about the channel or conduit realm, and then we talk about the being realm. Okay, at the highest realm of our existence in consciousness is what we talk about beingness, is what we talk about channel. A channel is a passageway, is a pathway of expression. All right, so when you start living the life of purpose, you become a pathway of expression, right? You're not just consuming. You start giving, you start serving in your local community, in your church, in your environment. And now this service is not just going to be based on the fact that you want to serve. It is not going to be based on the fact that there is an intentionality around your service. It is not going to be based on the fact that there is a packaging. Somebody should type packaging in the comments. There is a packaging around your service. So you're no longer serving like every other person because you just want to serve, because it looks good to serve. You serve in the choir, you serve as an usher, you serve in the workplace, or you work in an organization. It will no longer just look beautiful or look impressive because there's a structure and a system that's been put together for you to serve. It becomes something that is deeply ingrained and rooted in your consciousness because you know for sure that however you step out, that it is really about impact. It is not just about accomplishing a task. Even when you have your list of to-dos on a daily basis, you know that each of the item on your to-dos is going to be sort of hitting a point. It's going to be touching lives. It's going to be impacting generations. It's going to be touching someone in the workplace. All right? So you wake up every day with clarity. You wake up without confusion. As a student, when I was in school, I used to find it very difficult to read at night. I would often doze off. I would often sleep off. But the moment I stepped into the world of purpose, come on now, you have to beg me to sleep. I remember in those days, Miles Moron would always say, how many of you know the late Miles Moron? How many of you know him? He died in 240, all right? He would always say that when you discover purpose, it will kill you. I didn't understand what it meant. That's like 15 years ago. All right. It will kill you. And I often wonder what that meant. Now I understand better that a life of service is always on the go because it is a life with enthusiasm, a life with passion, a life with meaning, a life in the state of flow. Somebody should type flow. FLOW in capital letters, please. Don't do small letters. A life of flow. Do you see that? A life of flow is a life that is unstoppable, a life that cannot be stunted, a life that cannot be stored or stagnated. That is the life of flow. So when you are living in purpose, all right, when you are living in purpose, you begin to live meaningfully. Even if you are going to the office, it is not because you want to be paid, it is not because of salary, it is that there is an assignment, there is a mandate, there is a work that's been laid upon your shoulder that is hinged upon your assignment, that is hinged upon where you are heading. So before I go on, I know that there are many people who are meeting me for the first time. So who is this amazing woman behind the camera that is so beautiful? My name is Sid Michael. If you are meeting me for the first time, welcome on board. Yes, I'm a personal development coach. I'm a growth catalyst. I'm an execution strategist. I'm a certified life and productivity coach, leadership expert, and so many things. All right. I'm the founder of the Growth Garden Universal Club community. I've been a community builder for the past 8 years. This is just for formality. I need you to get to connect. Yeah, you're gonna love it here. You're gonna love the community. All right. I'm a kingdom steward. All right. I'm a pastor. I'm a woman of God. I love Jesus. I speak in tongues. Yay. Who is with me on that? If you are with me on that, say I'm with you, Coach Faith. All right. So the heart of what I do is really about transformation. It's really about transformation, right? I'm set for to set you on fire. That's what my purpose is about. Just set you on fire, right? So that you can do the work of purpose, so that you can fully step into your ordination on a deeper level. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right? So that you can fully step into your ordination on a deeper level. So I help people step into their realm of brilliance, purpose, infinite potentiality by developing themselves. That's it. I'm a growth catalyst. People know me as a reading coach. Yes, but we've evolved, we've done several other things beyond just reading over the years. All right. I believe that when you get to know who you are, somebody says, I want to know who I am here. All right. When you get to know who you are, it will become easier for you to develop your potential on a deeper level. When you get to know you, it will become easier. So you can follow me, you can connect with me through these different platforms, majorly Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. I'm also on TikTok with the same name. I'm on Instagram, but I'm just telling you the platforms that I'm very much active. Thank you, Shedrack, for that prayers. Amen. Okay, so I'm very much active on those different platforms. So you can follow me. Okay, follow. There's what they call follow me, I follow you. But I don't follow. I will not follow you. Follow me. All right. Okay. So let's do this. The question I want to ask you this hour is why is it that so many high achievers, after they must have gotten to a certain level of their lives, all right, after they must have gotten there, they now begin to ask themselves, is this all there is to life? How many of you have seen people like that? You see this person that has money, has everything, they've traveled to different countries of the world, and then they start to ask themselves, what's going on with me? Right? Why is my life like this? You go to the psychiatric hospital, you see a lot of people depressed, different depression level. Let me not use that word because of YouTube. Okay, I've used it already, but they're not happy. That's what I mean. They are not happy. That's the extreme aspect of it. Okay, they feel bad. They're moody. You know, a lot is going on in their lives. Maybe you are here right now. You're also going through similar situation, right? You've looked at your life and you're like, is this job all that there is for me? Right? Is this marriage all that there is to me? Is this life all that there is to me? Sometimes you just sit down, your hands on your jaw, and you are thinking about your life. All right? Some people even cry. How many of you love to cry here? I know some crying babies. They love to cry. How many of you love to cry? Okay? If you love to cry, type cry, 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 cry. So, is this all there is to life? Like you just sit down, you are weeping, you are cleaning your eyes, you're tearing up, and feel like, Mother, what happened? uncle, what is going on? Auntie, what is happening to you? All right? Have you been there? All right? Have you been there? Have you been there? So, is this all there is to life? Is this all there is for me right now? That's the question. So, let's talk about the purpose crisis, which is going to build upon what I already said. Because most people, all right, than ever are successful just by standards, external standards. They have all the money that they can have, but yet they feel empty all the time. All right, they climb up this ladder of success only to realize that it is actually leaning against the wrong wall. All right, you've achieved your goals, but they will someone else's definition. I read a story, very fascinating. So I know we must have also heard of those stories before. It happens all the time. Someone had gone on to study a particular course, medicine, all right, because the father and the mom, they wanted him to be a medical doctor. He went to school for about 10 years to study, graduated, became the best that you can ever think about. On the day of graduation, while he was handed over the certificate and everything that was given to him to celebrate and really applaud him, he started crying, busted into tears, and was like, Mommy or Daddy, see, I've actually satisfied you guys. I actually wanted to be a musician. Can I now go on with my life? Can you please permit me to go back and just go live my life? Now I've been able to fulfill your mandate. Now I've been able to do what I need to do. People ask me all the time, Faith Michael, did you study English in school? Did you study this in school? I often say, wow, yeah, I love the concern, but that's not actually what I studied in school. All right, I did sciences, right? I did science, very thick one. The people that did organic chemistry, or the arcane, the propane, the benzene, this and all the different things that has to do with chemicals. Those were the things that we studied in school. All right. But I remember vividly my story as a young girl. All right, back in the days, I don't that you want to enter into SS1, SS2, they'll tell you choose a particular course you want to study, go to the particular. Then we used to have sciences, we used to have social science, we used to have arts, and then I already made up my mind that I wanted to be an art student. So I joined the class that day. It was our very first day of division, and I went. I was actually confused because I was good in both subjects. I was one of the best in the sciences. I was also very good in art. I read a lot of novels. So I'd gone on to the art department because I was so drawn to government and some other subjects, literatures, and all of that. And then I can remember vividly that my science teacher came. I was like, Faith, what are you doing in art? I'm like, sir, I've chosen to be sick. Come on, leave that. And funny enough, he was my best teacher. So I couldn't say no to him. I so much loved that my teacher. He was my succor. He was my support system. And we were so close. So immediately I listened to his voice. And even said, Faith, leave that department right now. I moved to the science class. Beyond my expectations of becoming one of the major prefects in school and so many other things, I just followed it. And that was how I became a science student. All right, that was how I eventually ended up as a science student. But fast forward to life, look at where I am today. Do you see that? So now people ask me, did you study literature in school? Which was something I wanted to study, right? But now I'm in that line again, like talking now. So it's still acts I'm doing now. So I'm no longer in the laboratory with the microscope and the stethoscope and the sphygmomanometer and all of that. I'm no longer with that. I'm right here, right now, right? So you can see that at the end of the day, many a times we've had a glimpse of what our purpose is. It's just that we lost touch. So when we start to climb this ladder that is so beautiful, so amazing, at some point in life, we start to feel like we are not connecting to what it is anymore. So for some of us, we find it very easy, maybe through to deployment and volunteerism in one way or the other. Life just found us, and we're able to step back into what it is for us. But for some people, they need to keep moving in circles. I saw a post recently, and somebody was like, "Oh, thank God, I finally discovered my purpose at age 41." And somebody was like, "Oh, wow." But some people never discovered theirs until they are 70. All right, until they are 70 years old, they never They never discover until they are 70 years old, until they are 50 years old, until they are 100 years old, until they are 20 years old. So the essence of this conversation is not to measure purpose by your age, okay? It is that you understand that the moment you stepped into this environment, it was the liberation that you ever needed. Okay? It was the liberation that you ever needed. But you can begin to do the work of purpose right now and truly be able to get the result. Somebody says, I used to cry before. Now, okay? Now, not now anymore. Interesting. I know that a lot of people are the quiet side. They love to cry. They cry a lot. That's how one way for them to vent. Okay? So 85%, look at this alarming statistics. 85% of people feel disconnected from their purpose, according to Deloitte Global Human Capital Trends. All right? 85% of people feel disconnected from their purpose. If you have ever felt disconnected, I'd like to type disconnected in the comments. Like you've ever felt disconnected, okay, in one way or the other. I like to type disconnect. All right? 85% of people feel disconnected from their purpose. Generally, human capital trend says 85% feels disconnected. Can you see that? Can you see that alarming statistic? All right. The purpose of life. I love this Ralph Waldo Emerson quote so much. It says the purpose of life. I like you to write it in your notebook. The purpose of life. Write it in your notebook, print it out, post it in your wall, and look at it every time. The purpose of life is not to be happy. Do you see that? The purpose of life. That's why people who are happy. They get to a level, they're tired of happiness. Happiness is even tired of them. All right? Is even tired of them because happiness is circumstantial. Happiness is based on situation. It's situational happiness. All right? Situational happiness. Yeah, I love your vulnerability. Thank you for sharing. Right? Situational. Victor says seriously disconnected. I love that. Situational happiness. Right? So the purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well. Do you see that? So the reason you are alive is not to feel good, to travel to Dubai and to Santorini and all the beautiful places, Bahamas, and to drink the most expensive wine across the beach or what have you. That's not the overall essence of life. It is to be useful because you were created to meet a need in the earth realm. So once that need is not being met, you find that disconnect, you are not going to be satisfied. You're not going to be fulfilled. You're not going to step into the realm of purpose and flow on a deeper level. So the reason you are alive is not to be happy. Somebody will say, well, I want to live a good life. I just want to be happy. No, it is for you to be useful, for you to be honorable, for you to be compassionate, and for you to have it make some difference. First, you type some difference. We're not talking about changing the world. We're talking about some difference. It could just be a fragment of support that you are meant to be to the next person, to people that are connected to the vision that God has laid in your heart. All right? It is for you to have it make sense, some difference that you have lived and actually lived well. Every one human being that you see on the planet, at one point or the other, wants to be immortalized. All right? Wants their name to remain in time, to remain the center in the footprint of time that you came here, that you are not just a passerby, right? That you did not just come here, you mark register and you disappeared. No, that your life actually made sense, that you actually met a need in the society, that you actually became a conduit of blessing, that you were not just living as a victim, constantly complaining of the things you don't have, constantly complaining of the life you've not been able to live, constantly complaining of your situation, all right? That your life has ended, that you're the only one that have problems. No, that is not it. Not for you to become a victim. It is that you can become a tool of transformation. Okay? That you can become a tool of transformation. Okay? That you can become a tool of transformation, a tool of impact, a tool of change. All right? That's the reason you are here. So I like you to take a screenshot of that. All right? And write it down. Now let's talk about the three voices, like I said before. We have God's voice, we have the word's voice, and then we have your voice. Every day, you are being bombarded. You are being, how do we call it now? You are being automated. That's the word. You are being automated by the systems of the world. That's why I talk about habit installation a lot. Because if you do not install them to automate your life thoroughly based on the right values, the right systems. The world will automate you. Do you see that? So that's why we're constantly being bombarded, left, right, and center, through these three different voices. God's voice, okay, which often comes as a whisper of truth. It whispers truth to our hearts. It calls us higher, okay, to reveal a higher purpose to us. The moment you step into the world of purpose, you are going up higher, like I said, beyond the realm of victimization. You are growing in your consciousness. That's what it means. A man that doesn't discover purpose cannot grow in consciousness. Mm, Forget it. If you have not discovered purpose, you don't have an anchor, because it is your anchor that steadies you all the time. All right, that's why in the growth garden, first of all, what we deliberate on is your ability to know you on a deeper level, right? And we've been on that for the past 1 month, to get to know you. Do you understand? So it steadies you and it takes you up above every other person. Your consciousness will begin to scale. The word voice, what it does is that it demands conformity. All right? It says you shortcuts. That's why we live in a world today of endless comparison, instant gratifications, and all the things you can think about. That's the world's voice. So you open Instagram, you open platforms, and all you see is comparison. Do you see that? Comparison. You continue to compare yourselves. You sell yourself to shortcuts. Many people want results, but they are looking for a quick way. Somebody comes in for personal development coaching and is asking me, can I do it in 1 month? I'm like, are you for real? Like, I've been on this journey for the past 15 years. You want to do it for 1 month? There's no shortcuts to life in anywhere. That's why I always encourage people. Don't focus on tactics. Focus on principles. Focus on the fundamentals, the foundations, so that you can build from the ground up. There is your voice as well. Many times our voices are plagued with fear. We seek safety. We justify our settling. We sabotage ourselves, and we listen to the inner narratives that are no longer in alignment to our current position, to our current lifestyle. They are no longer connected to the vision of God for our life for the season. So these three voices, you must be intentional about understanding them. When you have discovered purpose, your voice will begin to grow. You begin to elevate your consciousness, and the way you talk to yourself will become different. The way you hear the voice of God will become different. Do you see that? And then the word's voice will begin to die down. Will begin to die down. Will begin to die down. All right? It will not begin to seem like it doesn't really exist. Many of us, the word voice is louder. Our own voice of fear and trembling is louder than even what God says about us. All right? So you must understand that there are three voices that we're constantly being bombarded by. So if you haven't yet discovered what the purpose is, or you are not working in it yet, you should understand that you are speaking more to the voice of negativity that are directly not congruent with where you ought to be. Because whether you like it or not, inner narratives has a role to play as to how well we're able to become so swift on our path of implementation of the life of purpose, whether you like it or not. Inner narrative, it sabotages. Okay? I just wound up talking about growth gap analysis with members of my inner circle. That a lot of times we don't also know that there is a gap in our lives. All right? There is a vacuum. There is an aspect of us that has refused to heal, that has refused to receive knowledge and brilliance. And as a result, we keep sticking to our old selves, and we're not able to move past the place of stagnation. You look at the story of the children of Israel. They had left Egypt, gone to the wilderness for 40 years. A journey that was supposed to take them 11 days ended up taking them 40 years because they were afraid that they would not be able to conquer those territories. They were afraid of the things that were not afraid of them. All right, they kept on moving in circles. They were eating all the things they could eat, getting fat and dying there in the wilderness. They couldn't move past it. They kept roaming in circles, right? But immediately the servant Joshua came in, the leader Joshua came in. He built a whole different type of framework. First of all, I'm not going to strike the rock to give you guys water. Better be ready to dig your own well. Better be ready to fend for yourself. Better be ready to do the work. That is the only way to break out of this cocoon and echo chamber that's kept you stored for a long time, that's kept you in one place. Okay? Like someone said, I think it was Edie that said it, that personal development is harder than a 9 to 5. Okay? Some people say you rather flog them than to tell them to sit down and read a book. My God, right? Do we have those people there? Yeah, that will say, rather flog me than to tell me to read a book. Flog me 100 lashes and just leave me alone. You see? So it's important that we begin to understand that there is so much that we have to let go. But it takes deliberateness, it takes intentionality, and it takes consistency. So most people can't hear God's voice because the other two are so loud. Okay? Social media tells you what's trendy, culture tells you what's acceptable, and then your past also tells you what's possible. You see that your past also has a role to play as to how well you are able to move forward. You see that many of us, we have been stored by our past, the things that we have gone through, past relationship that didn't work for us, that they told us our nose we are bent, that we're looking a certain way, that we're not as beautiful enough, past systems that we've interacted with, the kind of bosses that we've worked with that actually talked us down. That right now we do not understand ourselves. We have a very poor self-perception, right? Our self-ID, our self-image, and all the things you can think about us, they are messed up. They are messed up. And as a result, our perception of us is not merging up with the reality that we seek. We desire a beautiful future. We desire a glorious destiny. We want to be better people, want to be better personalities, want to be able to make it in life. But whenever we go back to our journey, it is not matching up. We're not able to take ourselves from where we are to where we ought to be. So it's almost like village people are following us, or we are our own village people. Which one? Okay, so it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem. You desire that life. You keep on looking at those who are doing the things you want to do, living the life you want to live, and you're like, oh man, if I can just be this, if I can just have a fragment of what this person had. It is not because your purpose has not been customized to bring provision to you. It is that you have not been able to fully let go of where you're coming from, to fully step in so that those doors can be opened unto you. All right? Do you know that purpose opens up doors? It grants access to beautiful relationships. That when people come into your space, you understand that because this is my assignment, this is the reason I exist. This person, that person, this is what I can do in their life. This is what they can also do in my life. All right? There's such a concept called the reticular activating system. In our mechanism as humans, it's a faculty that God has given to us. The moment your mind is set on something, the moment you become purposeful, you see to go into action. Everything that comes around you to begin to fix them. Relationship, business, money, everything it begin to fix them. That's it. That's it. So the reason we are haphazard is because we have not been able to know what it is. All right? Are you following? If you're following, type I'm following. So let's quickly look at the discovery framework. This is a 1 hour class, and then tomorrow we'll round it off. Okay? 4 questions to help you uncover your God-given purpose. Question 1. 4 questions to help you uncover your God-given purpose. Question 1. What breaks your heart? Oh my God, somebody should drop a broken heart there. What breaks your heart? What breaks your heart? That's the first thing you have to do. What lights you up? What are you uniquely equipped to do? And lastly, who is God calling you to serve? Service is powerful. Come on now. Service is powerful. All right? So, what breaks your heart? Yes, this is a discovery framework. What breaks your heart? This is how to uncover your God-given purpose. What breaks your heart? Like every day, you're like, what's going on? What lights you up? What sets you on fire? Like Patricia is sitting right now, she's on fire. Yeah. You're like, wow, she's good. She's unstoppable. It's my purpose. I'm in my element. I'm in my essence. Right? That's it. That's it. I'm in my essence. You see some of this. In fact, there was this video I saw, a short clip. Okay, let me just say generally. You see some of these athletes, whether they can run, they can dance, they can run, they can play football, whatever it is that they can do. You see them with long nails, especially ladies, very long nails, eyelashes, they're so well put together, skin is skinny, and you see them coming first or coming top of their games. And you're like, what's going on? How are they able to do? Because they're in their element. It doesn't matter the things that they put on. They're in their element. So when you are in your element, it doesn't matter the challenges, it doesn't matter the situationship, it doesn't matter what you go through. You flow, you glow. Don't you type it? You flow, you glow. Oh my God. Okay, somebody said, what breaks my heart is when I see the less privileged. Interesting, interesting. You want to dash them money, right? I want to cook soup for them. What comes to mind, Shadrach? Okay, tell me what breaks your heart? What lights you up? What sets you on fire? What are you uniquely equipped to do? Uniquely, like God just designed you, customized you to be able to fit into that environment. That you are the only one that can do it. All right? Who is God also calling you to serve? Have you put that together? So let's break it down. The first question, what breaks your heart? Your purpose often hides in your pain. Somebody should type pain. In your pain, your purpose often hides in your pain. The issue in the world that makes you angry, the injustice that you cannot even ignore, the struggle, okay? The struggle that you have overcome, that you want to help others through, okay? Somebody said, Sakba is what breaks my heart, okay? So, where do you see people suffering that others overlook? You see people just suffering in this aspect. You're like, oh my God, I think I want to help. I really want to help. And it gives you sleepless nights. That is one way to discover your purpose. All right? It's one way to discover your purpose. To type light. Purpose isn't just about pain alone. It is also about joy. Sometimes you can discover it by joy. Something that sets you on fire. Okay? When time disappears, like I spoke about flow, you get into the realm of flow that you want to keep going, going, going. What do you do when time disappears? What would you do even if no one paid you? All right, even if no one give you money, what would you do? What conversations energizes you instead of drains you, and what makes you feel most alive? Okay. Somebody says intelligent out of school. Interesting. All right. So do you see that? So what lights you up? Somebody says when I see people are being maltreated. Okay, maltreated. Interesting. So the reason most of us have not stepped into this thing, we have not started doing all of these things because we don't know how to step in. We don't know. Am I saying your mind? Like you don't know. If you don't know, say I don't know. Like we know some of these things, like I said from the inception. Then the reason we have not stepped in is usually because we don't know how to step in. Okay, you don't feel good when people are being maltreated. What have you done about it? Okay, are you like Moses who would often fight and even kill somebody, right? To say, oh, why do you maltreat them? You don't know how to start. You don't know where to take it from. You don't know your left from your right. Okay, because if you already know the pain, you already know the things that light you up, right? You already have a clue. You already have a clue. It's really not about how do I set up a structure to understand that it makes sense. What breaks my heart is seeing someone in their downtime. I love listening to them to make them feel better. Oh, interesting. What an encourager you are, right? Somebody says, I hate reading, but when I understand a particular concept, I feel great. Interesting. So you are drawn to novelty, new ideas, innovation, and creativity, right? And somebody says, singing lights me up. Interesting. Singing lights me up. So you see all the things we know how to do best. For example, I spent 14 years in the choir. I always say this with emphasis. I spent 14 years in the choir. I started at the age of 6 in the choir. At the age of 6, I remember there was this time I taught so well in the Sunday school. I was asked to go intern in a Sunday school department in my church after going to a workers training, and I went there and I taught so well. Somebody should say so well, so well. Somebody should type so well. I taught so good. And then my pastor's wife was like, Chris, what are you doing in the choir? Like, this is where you are supposed to be. The way you taught as though you've been teaching for the past how many years. You even did it so good that people have been here for years. How did you do this? Come on, girl. I'm not saying you should leave the choir. I know you are emotionally attached to the choir. But you see this one, this is your department. This is it. I never looked back after that. I never looked back. Somebody should say, I never looked back. I stayed. Now, beyond just the fact that she said it, I remember that immediately I taught in that class, it was as though the baby in my belly jumped up, leaped out of I don't know, you know. It was such an excitement. People were coming to me, oh, coach. Oh, I wasn't a coach then. Say this is so good, so powerful. I loved it. The way you explained the concept, the way you broke it down, I'm like, really? But I've been in the choir, I don't know how to sing. If I'm backing up, you needed to, in fact, in those days, they don't even give me mic to back up. You know when they give you a major mic to back up, you're going to spoil it from the back end. You know that off kid that will be standing all this side. But the moment I stepped up in teaching, I never looked back. So what lights you up? Do you see that? What do you do where time disappears? Do you see that? It's a clue. It is a clue. Number 3, what are you uniquely equipped to do? In this place, we'll now begin to talk about your skills, your experiences, your personality, your resources. Because a lot of times we know our pains, we know the things that light us up. But the challenge often that I've seen is that we don't know our skill set. Okay? Okay? We don't know our skill set, we don't know our experiences, we don't know our personalities, we don't know the resources that we already have at our disposal and how to weave them together to yield a beautiful concept that can take us to the next level. We don't have them. We don't know them. Okay? Because in all of your knowing about the things that light you up, that make you feel pain, you have to know the skill set that you have that you can merge up to ensure that you're able to come up with a beautiful structure. You have to know the key experiences you already have at your disposal through which you can serve with that gift. For somebody who says, I hate it when people are being maltreated, there has to be an experience you had that we can flip around, okay, to now begin to serve a better purpose, such that you cannot create a system where you begin to encourage people. I know of platforms, I've not used them, but I've heard of them, that people just go to encourage people. Yes, and they pay them in good dollars. All they do is they will just see people who are discouraged, and they'll be encouraging people. You sit down there and be talking and be advising people. That's what you do. Sometimes you just sit down. For somebody who says, I love to listen, you just sit down there, you do like this, and you be listening to their pains, you talk about their problem, you be like, As a reading coach, there was a time um, I came across, I think it was a research somebody had done, one of my students then, and the person was like, there's such a library they call Human Library. I've forgotten the country. Somebody can check that out. Human Library. What they do in that library is people go and sit down to share their story. So when you go to that library, instead of reading a book, you tend to have conversations with real humans who will tell you their stories, their life experiences, and they share insights and lessons with you. Human Library is in one of the states in the US, right? Human Library. So you see, things that we have, the giftings and the abilities that we have, can be put together as a structure to become a blessing. But we just don't know how. Then number 4, which is the last. Who is God calling you to serve? Remember, like I said, that the overall essence of purpose discovery is for you to be of service. It's for you to serve. No man is bigger than serving. Jesus had to leave heaven to come and serve you, to even die for you, so that you can receive redemption. So are you bigger than serving? No. Whether you're a church pastor, you are serving. Whether you're a banker, you are serving. Whether you're a parent, you're serving. It is constantly about service. All right? Bringing yourself to the level where you can serve. Whether you package it with branding, you package it with whatever, service is service. All right? I've made this research for several months. I put my work together. I've been teaching for years, and I'm here to teach you. This is service, even without paying me for it. I even spend money to run ads. Come on now. What level of service will be bigger than this? You see that? So it is service. You've got to be ready to serve. Who is God calling you to serve? Purpose is never about you alone. It's about who you are meant to serve. Now, the reason a lot of times we don't understand what our purpose is that we are looking for it to start paying us money at the very onset. Yes, of course, if you put the structure together properly, it can pay you money. But one thing you have to understand is that at the heart of it is the reason you are doing it. At the heart of it is the reason you are bringing it to the marketplace. At the heart of it is why God is saying you should do it. Yes, Shadrach, service is the goal, nothing else. To serve humanity. Somebody asked me on LinkedIn, why are you online? Why are you creating content? Why are you a digital entrepreneur? I said because my mandate as a personal development coach is to advance humanity forward. Simple. That's my goal. To advance humanity forward so that you can evolve in consciousness, so that you can grow beyond the current realm of your existence, so that you can develop your potential, so that you can be catalyzed for more, for results, to desire a beautiful future that you too can also begin to steward to be able to come into that fruition. Do you see that? So, in all, what gives you joy? What makes you cry? You know, are you wired to serve with it? And who is God calling you to serve with it? These are the four pathways through which you go through to ensure that you are able. Okay, somebody should type able. Somebody should type able to ensure that you are able to discover your purpose. All right. If you sit with this, if you sit with this, then it means that you'll be able to really understand what it is for you for the season. You'll be able to understand it. So let's look at the discernment test. Okay. Somebody says, I like reading, but I don't understand. Cool. You keep reading, you keep asking questions, get a mentor, join a community, all right? Get courses from Coach Faith, from whoever you're intentional about, and then keep learning. That's how it works. Okay, you have to change your approach as well. Change your approach. I'm on you. Change your approach. I have courses, I have programs on that, but that's not why we're here. If you're interested, you can reach out later. Okay, so what am I saying in a nutshell? All right, what am I saying in a nutshell? There's what we call the discernment test. You can discover your purpose, but one thing you have to understand that in every season, purpose does evolve. Like I said before, it evolves, it grows, clarity continues to evolve. But the reason you are not evolving is that you are not deploying yourself. And that is going to be the climax of our conversation. Yes, at the end of the 2 days, I'm going to invite you into a 6 week coaching program, all right, where you will get to do real practical. All of these that we're saying, you will do practical, and then you start implementing on your purpose project. How many of you will be ready to implement on your purpose project? Yeah, all right, it's very, very important. Very, very important. But one thing I want you to understand is that when you discover in every season of your life, there will be something that God is calling you into. But you have to be intentional about understanding what it is to ensure that you are not going to be walking in error. I think this is where a lot of people are really afraid. They're like, oh, am I sure it's God's purpose for my life? Am I sure it's this? Am I sure it's that? They keep on staying in one place. They are now 100 years old. They have not done anything. All right, they're still running in circles. They're still hesitating. They're still asking myself, is it not? Is it not? All right. Do you see that? In fact, we created a program last year for young people age 8 to 15. We call it the Young Visionary Academy. All right. So we do this purpose discovery event for young people. So they come in, we teach them how they can discover their purpose, and they discover their purpose, and then we take them on to the Young Visionary Academy where they start to implement on their purpose project. And it's been so fascinating. All right. I know that adults like us also need that teaching. You need that training. But we are bringing it right now in a way that really connects to your where you are, all right, on a deeper level. So we are getting to understand your purpose and who you are is no longer just a buzzword. It's not a necessity for the season. The reason is because we are more than distracted than as ever before. We are more than distracted than as never before, than as ever before. We are so distracted. We are so distracted. In fact, research has said that we are the most distracted generation that has ever existed in the earth. There's a word for it. Psychology has a word for it. It is called infobesity. Infobesity. You know when somebody is obese or obese, it means the person is overly big, right? Now, information. So we are so distracted. So for us to be able to put ourselves together so that we can be anchored, structured, put together to be able to scale, be able to grow, we must understand who we are, understand our purpose, and truly be able to zone it. Come on, y'all. I spent over an hour. Really? Oh my God. We should round up. Okay, so that we have energy for tomorrow. So, how do you know if you have discovered it? Does it align with the principles of God and Scripture? Number one, does it align with the principles of God and Scripture? Do you see that? Does it align with the principles of God and Scripture? Somebody will say, "Oh, I don't go to church." Oh. But does it align with the principle of God? Because God created all of us. There are fundamental principles that God has set in motion that will not, if you negate them, see, it is going to hurt you. All right? Let's say you say it is my purpose. but it is to exploit people. It is to do MMM. You swindle people their money. All right, tell them put 50,000 and get 1 million. Mm-hmm. So now you say it is God that revealed the idea to me, and He revealed it to me in the middle of the night, and you are stealing. Somebody called me yesterday. I don't know how my phone even recognized the person as a scam. All right. Somebody called me yesterday. I was like, hello, what is the name you use for? I'm calling from Central Bank. What is the name you use for your bank? What is your date of birth? Is it this or this? And the person was just talking, and I'm like, wow. I said, but you are not really sophisticated enough as a scammer. I said, but do you know what? I just want to leave you with one line. Please give your life to Jesus and never do this again. And the person was like, the person started saying all sort of words, and we ended the call. So what am I saying in a nutshell? I've already passed the message, right? You see, for such a person, and with that person say, oh, God revealed to me to be calling people and be telling them so I will collect their pin and get their money. Is that purpose? No. It must align with the principles of God. All right? It must align with the principles of God, principles of Scripture. Does it require the support of a mentor, leader, or community? Important. There is no one person that will say, this is my purpose, and you can do it alone. You need support. You need knowledge. You need resources. Is it also big enough? Because many times we just want to do the things that would be the purview of our comfort. We're not ready to stretch. Does it move you out of your comfort zone? If it doesn't move you out of a comfort zone, we have to look into it again. All right, that's what we will talk about your vision and all of that. Does it move you out of your comfort zone? Because the meta blueprint of how well you're able to envisage is also dependent on how emancipated you are in your mind, how knowledgeable you are, how resourceful you are. Okay, that's another conversation. Does it also produce peace? Does it produce peace? The peace the Bible says that supersedes human understanding. Does it produce peace? Does it serve others? Does it align with God's agenda? So this is the discernment test. Each time you say this is what it is that I want to do, run it through this test. Run it through this test. You don't begin to deceive people and say, oh, when you do this and do this, you make so amount of money. I think that's one of the major things that is raining out. And you know for sure that you too have not made money from it. Or possibly you manage to make small. And now you are telling people, does that align with God's agenda? So this is a discernment test that will help you to put all together. So as we round off, discovering your purpose is not a one-time event. It's a continuous in the world, getting the right questions, getting a mentor, testing what you discover through discernment again and again, and taking action on a project. Like I said before, taking action on a project. The moment you do that, you're going to be able to step in on a deeper level. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about how we can turn all of this into a purpose project so that you can begin to run with it. Get ready to activate. Oh my God. Somebody says, good morning to everyone from Nigeria. Is it morning already? Are you for real? Like, where are you, Raima? Okay, so get ready to be activated tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to show you the framework of activation so that you can fully step in. Okay, so that you can fully begin to do the work. I've seen that one of the most beautiful way to grow as someone who's interested in growth in personal transformation is when you discover an essence. Somebody should type essence. When you discover an essence, when you discover the reason you are alive, when you discover why you are here. That is one way to be more enthused with the process, enthused with the process, to stay connected and engage again and again without giving up. So, as we meet tomorrow, I'd like you to take this assignment, answer the 4 discovery questions in writing, get a notebook and write down all that I have shared, the 4 discovery questions, and then run your answers through the discernment test. Ask yourself, is it from God? Is it from the word? Is it my own? Is it based on fear? Remember the voices, and then share your feedback with us. But this evening, based on what you have learned now, we will also put a group for you to share 1 or 2 feedback, light bulb moments, has or one of you share in the WhatsApp group. It's our usual culture. Okay. Want to know what you've learned this evening? Want to hear from you? Want to open the group right away? Thank you so much for your time. It's been a beautiful, beautiful conversation. I wanted to do 1 hour, but we've done an hour 15 minutes. But I need to let it go because I know there are people from other regions as well. We need to keep to our time. Okay. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Tomorrow we'll talk about a project and how we can take this to the next level. Are you ready? So come with your readiness tomorrow. We're gonna do this the same time tomorrow, 8 p.m. Nigeria time. Do well, stay tuned, and God bless you. Bye bye. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for that. Like I'm leaving. I'm answering. In fact, I'm reading my own book. Somebody says thank you and God bless you for the service to humanity. All right. You're welcome. Funke Christiana. Thank you so much for joining in. I love you. Emmanuel says this is really explosive. So we're gonna continue our feedback on the WhatsApp community. Just share with us a statement, a line, and I will just read and hear from you. Take care, everyone. Good night.